Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet a doily, a vintage inspired doily. One of my passions is collecting antiques. I love during the weekend going to antique shops, to flea markets, and I love these vintage doilies. However, lately I've been noticing that it's difficult to get my hands on a pair. So I thought it would be a good idea to come up with a pattern and make myself a pair. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. For this project, you're going to need a yarn, color of your choice, a pair of scissors, a crochet hook, and a safety pin is optional. This is the yarn I'm going to be using, and I'm only going to be using about half of this yarn. I'm going to begin by leaving a little tail behind so that I can finish my project at the end. And over this area, I'm going to grab my crochet hook, cause a little bit of tension, twist it, and rotate it all the way around. So with this hand, I'm going to hold the short little tail, and with this other hand, I'm going to be pulling my main source of yarn. From here, I have a little loop there. I'm going to wrap the yarn around my crochet hook and bring it in through that little loop. For that first little loop, here I have 2 stitches. I'm going to wrap the yarn around my crochet hook and bring it in one more time. So here I have 4 if I count this one. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to wrap the yarn around my crochet hook and go into the 3rd stitch. 1, 2, and 3 into that one, the 3rd one. So I'm going to go in there, grab my main source of yarn and pull it through that 3rd stitch, and there's my 3 little loops. I'm going to wrap the yarn around my crochet hook and bring it in through the 3 little loops. Again, I'm going to wrap the yarn around my crochet hook and I'm going to go into the same exact 3rd stitch and bring that yarn through there. There's my 3 little loops, wrap the yarn around my crochet hook and go in through the side, the 3 little loops. So I'm going to continue doing this, going into the same 3rd stitch 10 times all around. Now I went all the way around in the same 3rd stitch 10 times. I'm about to begin my line, my 2nd line. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to get my crochet hook and I'm going to go directly into the 1st stitch that we made, and I'm going to pull that yarn and bring it in through there. And I'm going to place this stitch into this stitch. What I'm going to do from here is a chain of 3. I'm counting this one as 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to get my crochet hook and I'm going to go into the following stitch. So I'm going to go into the following stitch. Let me see so I can show you guys right there, the following stitch. And I'm going to grab that yarn and pull it through. There I am again with 2 stitches. I'm going to place this one into this one. Once I'm here again, I'm going to make a chain of 3, counting this one as 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go into the following stitch. Grab that yarn, pull it through. Now I'm going to be placing this stitch into this stitch. So it's basically the same thing. And I'm going to be doing this for row 2 and row 3. Just making a chain of 3 and going into the following stitch, closing it off and beginning the process again. I'm going to do this for row 2 and row 3. I've just completed line 3. What I like to do right about now is get my safety pin and place it exactly over this area. This way I know that every time I pass the little head of the safety pin, I've finished a line and I'm beginning a new one. To begin line 4, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to begin a little chain of 3. I'm counting this one as 1, 2, and 3. But what I'm going to do now is I'm not going to be going into every single stitch. What I'm going to do is every 3 stitches left behind a big stitch in the bottom, and each one of them has it, a bigger stitch in the bottom area, as you can see there. So now what I'm going to do after completing my little chain of 3, I'm going to be going into the big stitch left behind by the 3 stitches. And I'm going to grab that yarn, pull it through. There's my 2 stitches. I'm going to place this stitch into that stitch. And basically it's the same thing again, a little chain of 3, 1, 2, and 3. And I'm just going to go directly into the big stitch in the bottom. Here you can see the 3 little stitches we worked on line 3. And then down here, they left a bigger stitch behind. So I'm going to place my crochet hook under there, grab that yarn, pull it through. There's my 2 stitches. I'm going to place this stitch into that stitch. And I'm going to continue doing this the following 3 lines. So it's going to be doing this line 4, 5, and 6, exactly the same way. I've just completed line 6. I'm about to begin line 7. So the only difference here is going to be that we're going to start by making a chain of 4. So here I'm going to start counting this one as 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to go into the following big stitch, grab that yarn, pull it through, and place this stitch into that stitch. So basically it's the same thing except we're making a little chain of 4. And I'm going to continue doing this for line 7 and line 8. I just finished line 8. I'm about to start line 9, and I'm going to do the same exact thing for line 9, 10, and 11. So it's basically the same thing, but instead of a chain of 4, this time it's going to be a chain of 5. So I'm counting this one as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going to go directly into the big stitch left behind by the previous row. Pull that yarn in through there, and there's my 2 little stitches. I'm going to place this stitch into that stitch. And then again, I'm going to make my chain of 5. Counting this one as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and place it into the following stitch, grabbing that yarn, pulling it through. There's my 2 stitches. I'm going to be placing this one into that one. And that's what I'm going to basically continue doing for line 9, 10, and 11. I just finished with row 11. I'm about to begin row 12. Now for row 12, we're going to do basically the same exact thing, but instead of a chain of 5, we're going to be making a chain of 6. So I'm counting this one as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and I'm going to go directly into the following stitch. And I'm going to do exactly this. I'm going to put this stitch into that one. I'm going to do the same exact thing for the following row 12 and row 13. I just finished row 13. What I'm going to be doing for row 14 and 15 is basically the same thing, but instead of 6 stitches, we're going to start with 7 stitches. So I'm counting this one as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then I'm just going to place my crochet hook in the following stitch, grab that yarn, pull it through. There's my 2 little stitches. I'm going to be placing this one into that one. And I'm just going to continue basically doing the same exact thing for my following 2 rows. I just completed my line 15, and we're about to begin working on the trim for the doily. But you can see here how the little stitches start really small and keep getting bigger and bigger. So now it's time for us to begin working on the trim, the final row. For my final row, I'm going to be making a chain of 7. I'm counting this one as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I'm going to count backwards 4 stitches. I'm counting this one as 1, 2, 3, and 4 into this stitch right here. I'm going to wrap the yarn around my crochet hook and go into that 4th stitch, grab that yarn, pull it through that 4th stitch, and there are my 3 little loops. I'm going to now wrap the yarn around my crochet hook and bring it in through the 3 little loops. Again, I'm going to wrap the yarn around my crochet hook and go into that same 4th stitch, grab that yarn, pull it through. There's my 3 little loops. Wrap the yarn around my crochet hook and bring it in through the 3 little loops. Now I'm going to be making a chain of 3. I'm counting this one as 1, 2, and 3. So now you're going to go back to your chain, your previous row, and I'm going to go directly into the following stitch. Grab that yarn, pull it through. There's my 2 loops. I'm going to be placing this one into this one. And there I start again. I'm going to do the same thing for this pattern, which is a little line of 7. So I'm counting this one as 1. Now I'm going to count backwards 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to wrap the yarn around my crochet hook and place it into that 4th stitch. Grab that yarn, pull it through. Wrap the yarn around my crochet hook and bring it in through those 3 little loops. Again, wrap the yarn around my crochet hook. Go back in a second time into that 4th stitch. There's my 3 loops. Wrap the yarn around my crochet hook and bring it in. Now a little chain of 3. I'm counting this one as 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to go directly into the following stitch. Grab that yarn, pull it through. There's my 2 stitches. I'm going to be placing this one into this one. And I'm just going to continue doing this all around my final row, and I'll show you the way it finally looks at the end. I just ended my final row. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull the yarn and I'm going to cut over this area. Again, I'm going to place my crochet hook in the loop, and remember, you can finish your project however you feel the most comfortable. I'm going to wrap the yarn around my crochet hook and bring it in and pull it completely. Now I'm just going to press. Again, I'm going to place my crochet hook into a stitch, grab that yarn, and pull it through again through this stitch all the way. And now I'm just going to press. I'm going to place it into one more stitch a little bit lower, and I'm going to grab that little tail and bring it in halfway. Now with these two ends, I'm just going to be making a knot. Now I'm just going to be cutting the two little ends of the knot. Here's the little tail we left behind when we began this project. I'm going to be finishing off this project the same exact way I showed you when I finished the last stitch. So I'm just going to choose a stitch, grab that yarn and pull it through. Again, I'm going to go into the same stitch, grab that yarn, pull it through, but only till you could see that stitch. And I'm going to grab that yarn and pull the yarn all the way through, tightening it. I'm going to go into the following stitch, grab that yarn halfway, pull it through, and now I'm just going to be making a knot. Now I'm just going to cut the two little tails. And now I'm just going to be removing the safety pin. So here's the doily completed. This is the back part where you'll be able to see the knot. Let me see if I can show you there. There's the final little knot, and there's the other little knot over this area. So you're going to want to turn it over to the opposite side, and all you have to do is two of these doilies so you could have your little pair. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys give these doilies a try. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.